tenacity! Think of the damage we can do now, man!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most destructive characters in animated TV shows.
I'm gonna turn your head into a floor sifter!
Number 20, Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes franchise. You might not expect this iconic mascot to be someone with violent tendencies. While he's a far cry from a bloodthirsty maniac, Bugs Bunny is hardly an innocent little rabbit. For 80+ years, he's been tormenting the likes of Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam, and countless others.
It's this suspense that gets me.
He once set a bomb loose on the Easter Bunny, tricked a dog into falling off of a building, and even nearly erased Daffy from existence. He's done some truly heinous things, and hardly ever feels bad for the chaos he brings. Just because Looney Tunes is bound together by cartoon physics and barely any continuity, doesn't mean we're letting Bugs off the hook for his crimes.
Wabbit season! Wabbit season! Duck season! Fire!
Number 19, Bill Cipher, Gravity Falls. Be wary of setting foot in Gravity Falls, because this killer triangle is out to get everybody. The Chaos Deity goes to the greatest of lengths to essentially unleash hell on Earth. Through his mystery of chaos magic, he can do and pretty much destroy anything and everything.
This is what happens to heroes in my world!
He's responsible for the complete eradication of his home world, the second dimension. If that weren't bad enough, he nearly destroyed Earth too. But when he's not rearranging realities, he's also rearranging body parts like how he did with Mr. Northwest. Cypher is an enigmatic force with sinister intentions, ungodly amounts of power, and a sick sense of humor. So when it's all said and done, Bill Cipher shapes up to be one truly messed up villain.
Whatever will I do about that? How about this? Boom!
Number 18, Slade, Teen Titans.
No, Robin. I won't stop. Not now, not ever. I am the thing that keeps you up at night. The evil that haunts every dark corner of your mind. I will never rest. And neither will you.
Time and time again, Slade has proven to be one of the toughest foes that the Teen Titans have ever faced. Considering that his original name, Deathstroke, couldn't be used for the cartoon because it was too unsettling, you just know he's trouble. There are plenty of times when we see Slade's special blend of terror take hold. He was responsible for Terra's death and created major rifts within the team. And even when he wasn't around, he was still causing mayhem. His impact was so devastating that the years of torment he caused essentially gave Robin intense PTSD. He's violent, but that's not a description that properly does him justice. He's a stone-cold criminal mastermind who preys on people and destroys lives.
You promised to fight at my side forever, and that's a promise I intend to make you keep.
Number 17, The Mask. The Mask animated series.
Pull it, pal! Come on! Show yourself so I can box your ears! I'm a wrecking machine!
Whenever somebody dons this infamous mask, they make trouble whether they like it or not. The mayhem that the mask creates is nothing short of a spectacle. On the regular, he whips out all sorts of crazy weapons and inventive maneuvers. But while he does everything in a hilariously cartoonish fashion, the pure insanity of this guy is no laughing matter. Sure, a slender green guy in a bright suit dancing around is all fun and games, but what about when he's aiming a cannon straight at your face or cooking you alive? Yeah, not so funny now.
Somebody stop me!
Number 16, Zim. Invader Zim. If you're an alien whose sole purpose is to invade Earth, then chances are you probably aren't up to much good.
Of, say, a full-scale alien invasion, how prepared do you think this planet's defenses would be? Tell me.
While Zim's elaborate plots often border on the goofier side of things, they still tend to lead to horrifying results. Wanting to hijack Christmas sounds like a funny villainous plot, but Zim having his computer drain the brain of a mall Santa isn't too delightful. Who could forget the time Zim began harvesting children's organs in Dark Harvest?
Say, you're full of organs, aren't you?
Why, yes. Yes, I am.
And you wouldn't notice if you were, say, missing a few?
In fact, he makes so many unsettling choices that fans believe this episode is one of the reasons the show got canned. With all the twisted things Zim's done, it's no wonder his own people known as the Urkins ditched him. Number 15, Peter Griffin, Family Guy. What are some of the most vile crimes a person could commit? You name it, and chances are Peter Griffin has done it.
He's got a knife!
Sorry, Cleveland, it's gotta be authentic.
From robbing banks for a living to getting into fights with a giant chicken, he's hardly an upstanding member of society. He's also lashed out at kids and in some cases caused their demise. It honestly seems like violent tendencies just run in his family, considering Peter's infant son Stewie has also done some equally heinous things.
Where's my money? Where's my money?
For a character who's regarded as comic relief, Peter Griffin's actions are a lot less comical and a lot more deranged. Number 14, Darth Maul, Star Wars The Clone Wars. Darth Maul is one of the most vicious Sith Lords, and he's shown his ruthlessness on more than one occasion. His ability to not only survive, but bounce back from severe setbacks has allowed him to dish out some extreme brutality.
Your master, Qui-Gon Jinn. I gutted him while you stood helpless and watched. How did that make you feel, Obi-Wan?
He overcame losing his mind and body to get revenge on Obi-Wan, and also beheaded Pre Vizsla to conquer Mandalore. Not to mention, he savagely massacred clone troopers in a hallway scene unlike any other. Hey, look, you don't become one of the coolest characters without dismembering a few people here and there. Saying that Star Wars has tortured souls is hardly anything new, but Maul is a character consumed by hatred in a way that simply few others can rival.
I can see him in my mind's eye. Kenobi.
Number 13, Darkseid, DC Animated Universe.
Though your world will suffer slowly, I grant you a quick death.
As the cruel dictator of Apocalypse, Darkseid is not a character really known to be very peaceful. He's enslaved planets, broken heroes, and nearly brought the destruction of everything on more than one occasion. While he often sends out his hordes of parademons to do his bidding, he isn't against getting his hands dirty either. He's regularly gotten into intense scuffles with Superman and the rest of the Justice League. At one point during the iconic Justice League Unlimited finale, he even boasted about how he'd carve out Superman's heart. That's pretty freaking hardcore if you ask us. It's no wonder why Darkseid's arguably the most menacing villain in the entire DCAU.
The skies will rain fire, the oceans will boil, the streets will run red with the blood of billions. Only then, after your last pitiful hope is extinguished, will I end your life. Let's go.
Number 12, Mr. Pickles. Mr. Pickles. This dog is a psychotic border collie who regularly does incredibly gruesome things to anyone he sees as a threat to his owner, Tommy Goodman, and his family. It's probably best we don't go into extreme detail about all of the murders he's committed, so rest assured when we say, he's not exactly a good boy. In fact, the show would later reveal that Mr. Pickles is descended from a long line of sinister dogs who essentially took control over an entire kingdom. Needless to say, you should be careful around this wild animal. If you anger him, then it's going to be you who's in the doghouse. Number 11, Omni-Man, Invincible.
I will burn this planet down before I spend another minute living among these animals.
Omni-Man is kind of like Superman, if Superman decided to become a full-blown villain. Saying he has serious anger issues would barely scratch the surface. In the final moments of just the first episode of Invincible, viewers are properly introduced to Omni-Man's brutality. He betrays and gruesomely murders his teammates, the Guardians of the Globe. Later in the first season's finale, when his son Mark doesn't embrace his vision, they come to blows. He doesn't just beat him within an inch of his life, he also creates tons of collateral damage in the process. Let's just say, we're a lot less comfortable being in subway stations now.
Please.
Number 10, The Scotsman, Samurai Jack.
This is a sword. And it's bigger than yours.
In a future dominated by the evil that is a coup, you would have thought the most beastly thing out there would be one of his many robotic or alien minions. But nope. That honor goes to this kilt-wearing fellow who likely hails from the Highlands. A feared warrior as well as one of Jack's closest allies, the Scotsman loves nothing more than to start a brawl. Armed with his own magic sword, a machine gun in place of a leg, and a mean set of bagpipes, there's no meaner Scot than him. Well, other than his bonny lass at least.
Muffin?
Don't you muffin me!
Number 9, Azula, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Unlike other princesses, Azula doesn't spend her days being pampered in palaces. She prefers turning peasants to ash.
Anyone who harbors these traitors will face the wrath of the Fire Lord. There will be no place left to hide.
A master manipulator, infiltrator, and all-around badass when it comes to firebending, her accomplishments include bringing down the city of Ba Sing Se, turning Zuko back to the dark side, and in essence, killing the Avatar, albeit briefly.
Sokka's your name, right? My favorite prisoner used to mention you all the time. She was convinced you were going to come rescue her. Of course, you never came, and she gave up on you.
Selfish in her wants and relentless in her pursuits, she would happily burn down the whole world should it suit her ends. And that was all before she started to lose her mind. Number 8, Eric Cartman, South Park.
You just want him dead so you can have a stupid PSP.
Stupid? PSP is stupid? Did you all hear that? I mean, this isn't about PSP, Cap.
Granted, he may not be the most physically intimidating resident of the quiet little mountain town, but if there's one thing Eric Cartman's good at, it's bringing about violence and death. He nearly brought death to all Jews in South Park by inciting hatred, got a woman to take her own life herself with just a phone call, and even managed to take control of the world-ending Cthulhu.
And they all deserve to be sent into a dark oblivion! You can do that, right? Send people into a dark oblivion? Because that's what those buttholes deserve!
Of course, his own infamous moment came when Cartman arranged for Scott Tenorman's parents to be killed, turned into chili, and unknowingly fed to Scott in an act of revenge. Damn! Number 7, Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry franchise. These two have been at each other's throats for decades now, and while their scraps may not exactly be the bloodiest, they certainly don't hesitate to knock the stuffing out of each other. This is especially true of Tom the Cat, who more often than not ends up on the receiving end of Jerry the Mouse's brutal comebacks. Sliced apart, crushed, beaten up, set on fire, even caught in an explosion, this pussycat has endured some pretty harsh punishments over the years. But to be fair, he usually started it.
White mouse will not explode.
Don't you believe it?
Number 6, Carnage. Spider-Man the Animated Series. What do you get when you take a mass murderer and add an alien symbiote to the mix? A whole pile of dead bodies, that's what.
Cassidy, what's wrong? Cassidy is gone. There is only Carnage!
While he was a sick SOB all by his lonesome, Cletus Cassidy absorbed the spawn of Venom, becoming a whole new kind of monster. With all of Spider-Man's powers, plus the nasty tendency to turn his tendrils into weapons, Carnage quickly established himself as one of the Webhead's most dangerous adversaries, not to mention the most psychotic.
Dad! Ready for some father-son quality time? Between the two of us, there won't be enough left of Spider-Man to fit in a matchbox, but we'll try.
Number 5, Joker. Batman the Animated Series.
And I'll be smiling again, just as soon as we take that man there, and slap him in that box there, and roll it into that vat of acid there!
The Clown Prince of Crime has enough death on his hands to fill whole graveyards, and while he doesn't tend to be as blunt with his kills compared to the rest of Batman's rogues gallery, he's certainly not afraid to get his hands dirty.
You've forgotten what I told you a long time ago. One of the painful truths of comedy. You always take shots from folks who just don't get the joke.
Whether it's with his signature laughing gas, a whole assortment of deadly gags, or one of his many ingenious death traps, the Joker certainly knows how to combine theatrics with murder. Heck, he's not above using sharks as a means to try and kill the Dark Knight. Number 4, Itchy and Scratchy. The Simpsons. What if Tom and Jerry ditched their usual routine and tried literally butchering each other? You might get something resembling these two. In a rather brutal parody, the subjects of Bart and Lisa's favorite cartoon show spend each episode finding new and creative ways to kill one another off. More specifically, we get to see how many ways Scratchy can be dismembered, devoured, and just outright destroyed. One of the most successful running gags in the Simpsons franchise, the furry duo seems to get more bloodthirsty with every season.
Which one's a mouse?
Itchy.
Itchy's a jerk.
Yeah.
Number 3, Rick Sanchez, Rick and Morty.
Wow! What the hell? What happened back there?
Why don't you ask the smartest people in the universe, Jerry? Oh yeah, you can't. They blew up.
While traversing across space, time, and a whole plethora of dimensions, one constant has become abundantly clear over the course of this hit series. Cross Rick Sanchez and you are going to die, in rather gruesome fashion. Whether it's to protect himself and Morty, or just for the sake of it, it's bound to be bloody and oh so hilarious. Try to steal his work? He'll blow you up. Try to take advantage of his grandson? He'll blast you into 1,000 pieces. Inconvenience him during a mission? Prepare to lose your head.
All of these deaths are on your hands.
Okay, come on, maybe a couple of them, but definitely not the train guy.
All of them.
Oh.
Number 2, Brock Sampson, the Venture Brothers.
Okay, what happened?
You're one, bruh. I said your windpipe broke.
They don't call him the walking Swedish murder machine for nothing. As the bodyguard of Rusty Venture, you'd expect him to get into a few slugfests given how many supervillains his charge seems to attract. What might come as a shock, though, is just how good he is at turning them all into a red stain. Due to his immense strength and ungodly endurance, Brock can take an untold amount of punishment and still keep on ripping people apart, which is something he prefers to do with his bare hands. Well, at least he loves his work.
I'll take care of these guys.
Are you sure? There's an awful lot of them.
They hit me with a truck.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Flippy, Happy Tree Friends. Oh, look at this little guy. How could anything so cute and cuddly be? Oh God. As an Army veteran suffering from an extreme case of PTSD, Flippy more than lives up to his name, as in each of his episode appearances, he flips out. This is soon followed by a murderous rampage where he brutally kills any other living creature in his path. Whether he's using his own paws or his handy knife, when you see that look in Flippy's eye, you'd better get the hell out of Dodge. Who do you think is the most violent cartoon character? Share your thoughts in the comments.
I'm going to carve out your heart and put it on a pike in my throne room.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.